Hi students, welcome to Methodology classes. So finally you appeared for your mathematics paper today of 2026. I hope you would have done well. I have got the CBSE Board Maths paper conducted on 17th March 2026, set 2 in UP. So let's go through the MCQs of this paper. So the first question, if PQ and PR are tangents to the circle with center O and radius 4 centimeters. So this is the radius 4 centimeter such that angle QPR, so this angle is 90 degree. Then the length of OP. So we have to find out the length of OP. So this is a good question. If you think a little bit about this question, then it's quite easy. We can solve it easily. So if I join OR, so we can see this is also 90 degree, this is also 90 degree, and QPR is already 90 degree given. So this is a quadrilateral, so angle at O will also be 90 degrees. So all the angles are 90 degrees, so this is a rectangle. So we are sure that this is a rectangle. But if we analyze it a little bit more, then we can see that OQ and OR are radii of the circle. So the two adjacent sides are equal in a rectangle, so it becomes a square. So we can say that PQOR is a square, and in a square all the sides are equal, and OP is the diagonal of this square, and diagonal of a square is given as side root 2, and its side is of length 4, so its diagonal, that is OP, will be 4 root 2. So we can say the option B will be its answer. Moving to the next question. An ice cream cone of radius r and height h is completely filled by two spherical scoops of ice cream. If the radius of each spherical scoop is r by 2, then h is to 2r. So it's asking the ratio of the height and the twice of the radius. So if the ice cream scoop has filled the cone completely, so we can say that the volume or the space inside the cone has been fully occupied by the scoops of the ice cream. So volume of the two scoops of the ice cream will be equal to the volume of the cone. So volume of a cone is 1 by 3 pi r square and h, and this will be equal to volume of the two scoops of the ice cream. Volume of the two scoops of the ice cream, so both the scoops are spherical, so 2 into 4 by 3 pi, and its radii is r by 2. So r by 2 cube. So from here 3 can be cancelled out, r square can also be, pi can be cancelled out, so we can say r square h is equal to 8 into r by 2 cube means r cube by 8, so 8 can be cancelled out. There are r cube and r square, so r square will be cancelled out, only r will be left, so we can say h by r will be 1:1. So from here we have got h by r as 1:1, but it has asked h by 2r, so we can write it 1 by 2. So it will be 1:2, option B will be the answer. Moving to the question number 3, arc PQ subtends an angle theta at the center of the circle with radii 6.3 centimeter. If arc PQ is equal to 11 centimeter, then the value of theta is. So this is a direct application of the formula of length of the arc of a circle, and we know length of the arc of a circle is theta by 360 into 2 pi r. So theta we have to find out. So theta by 360 into 2 pi, that is 22 by 7, into radii, that is 6.3, and this has been given as 11 centimeter. So from here we can cancel, 7 into 9 is 63, so 6.3, so it will be 0.9, and we can cancel by 2, so this will be 180. So from here we can say theta will be equal to We can shift everything on the right hand side. So 11 into 180 over 22 into 0.9. So we can cancel 11 to the 22. 2 into 0.9 is 1.8 and 1.8 into 100 is 180. So theta will be 100 degrees. So option D will be our answer, 100 degrees. So this was the direct application of the formula for the length of arc of a circle. Theta by 360 into 2 pi r, substituted everything and equated the length of the arc with the given length 11 centimeter and solved. We got the value of theta as 100 degree. Now moving to the question number 4, 1 plus tan square a over 1 plus cot square a. So from here we know 1 plus tan square a is sec square a and 1 plus cot square a is cosec square a. So cosec square a is reciprocal of sine and sec a is reciprocal of cos. So it will be sine square a by cos square a, that is tan square a. So option A will be our answer. This was a simple question. Now moving to the question number 5. 3 tennis balls are just packed in a cylindrical jar. If radius of each ball is r, then volume of air inside the jar is. So volume of air inside the jar. So air will be only in the space which has not been occupied by the balls. So to get the space which has not been occupied by the balls, let me choose a different color, by the balls. So how we can find out that? We can subtract the volume of the cylinder and the volume of the ball. So to get the volume of the cylinder, we can see that radius of the cylinder will be same as the radius of the ball. So volume of a cylinder is pi r square and h. So h, we can see h will be this height, and we can see that this height is equal to 6 times radii of the ball. So its height is 6r. So pi r square h minus the volume of the ball. So there are 3 balls, 3 into, and balls are in spherical shape. So 4 by 3 pi and r cube. So 3 can be cancelled out. So from here we can say 6 pi r cube minus 4 pi r cube. So we will get 2 pi r cube. So option A will be our answer, 2 pi r cube. So I hope this would be clear. Moving to the question number 6. Question number 6. 2 different dice are rolled together. The probability that both obtained numbers are less than 4. So both obtained numbers are less than 4 and we are throwing 2 dice. So either 1, 2 or 3 can come on the first dice, and because we want the probability that both the obtained numbers are less than 4, so on the second dice also we want 1, 2 and 3. So there are 3 possible outcomes on the first dice and 3 possible outcomes on the second dice. So if I combine one outcome on the first dice with the one outcome on the second dice, so there will be 3 into 3, 9 possible outcomes where both the outcomes will be less than 4. And total number of outcomes on throw of 2 dice is 36. So 9 by 36 is 1 by 4. So option C will be your answer. Moving to the question number 7. ABCD is a parallelogram such that AF is 7, FB is 3 and EF is 4 centimeter. Length of FD is. So we have to find out this length. Now this is a parallelogram, so AD and BC are parallel. So we can say that AD and BC are parallel and AE is a transversal. So these 2 angles are alternate angles, so they are equal, and these 2 angles are vertically opposite angles, so they are also equal. So we can say that these 2 triangles are similar to each other. So the ratio of their sides will be equal. And which sides? Sides opposite to equal angles. So we can say that side opposite to angle D in this triangle is AF and D is equal to B. So side opposite to B is FE in the other triangle will be equal to side opposite to angle A is DF or FD, and A is equal to E, side opposite to E is FB, BF. So from here we can say AF, that is 7, over FE, that is 4, will be equal to DF, that we have to find out. Let me write it FD, and BF, it is 3. So from here we can say that FD is 21/4. So option A will be your answer. So this was a question based on the application of similarity of triangles. So we just applied we found out that two angles of triangle AFD is equal to two angles of triangle EFB. So the two triangles we proved similar, and then we found out the ratio of their corresponding sides, and from there we got the value of FD as 21/4. Now question number 8, PQ. So if we see PQ is a tangent to the circle with center O, if angle POR is 65 degrees, so measure of angle PTR. So we have to find out this angle PTR. So this is a good question and based on the application of the relationship between angles subtended by an arc at the center and at the circumference. So we can see that angle PSR and POR both are subtended by the arc PR, and POR is the angle subtended at the center, that is 65 degrees. So angle PSR will be half of 65 degrees, that is 32.5 degrees. So this angle is 32.5 degrees. And triangle SPT is a right angled triangle in which one of the angle which is not 90 degrees, 32.5 degree. So the other angle will be equal to 90 minus 32.5 degree, that is 57.5 degree. So the value of the angle PTR is 57.5 degree. So this was a beautiful question involving the concept of angle subtended by an arc at the center and at the circumference, and a right angle triangle also. Question number 9. A circle centered at -1, 2 passes through the point 0, 3. So radius of the circle is. So this was a simple question involving the concept of circle. So that's very easy. So let me draw a circle. So this is the circle, and the center is -1, 2. So this is the center, -1, 2, and it is passing through a point 0, 3. So if we join the center to the point, then that will be the radii, and we have to find out radius only. So we can use the distance formula to find out the radii. So if we apply the distance formula, so x2 minus x1, 0 minus -1 whole square plus y2 minus y1, so 3 minus 2 whole square. So minus, it will be 1 plus 1 square root, so that will be √2. So the option B will be your answer. So this was the simple question based on the application of the concept of circle. Question number 10. It is given that triangle ABC is similar to triangle EDF. Which of the following is not true? So we have to check which is not true. So as I discussed in the session which is just before the exam, that we have to be very cautious about the language of the question. So it is asking which is not true. So if two triangles are similar, so their ratio of their perimeters are also in the ratio are also in the same ratio as the ratio of their sides. So it is same, AB over ED. So this is true. But the question is asking which is not true. And again, two triangles are similar, so their corresponding sides are in the same ratio. So AB over ED will be equal to AC over EF. So we can check it by just taking the alphabets or the vertices at the same place. Now option C is saying angle A is equal to angle D, but we can see here that A is at the first place in ABC and D is at the second place. So this is not true. So option C will be our answer. because the question is asking which is not true. So this question was just based on the application of similarity of triangles, that if two triangles are similar, so their corresponding sides are in the same ratio and their angles are equal. Now moving to the next question. If the roots of the quadratic equation x square minus k root 3x plus 2 are real and equal, then the value of k is. This question is based on the concept of roots of a quadratic equation, and we know that roots of a quadratic equation are real and equal if their discriminant is 0, and discriminant is b square minus 4ac, where b is the coefficient of x, that is k root 3. So b square minus 4a, that is the coefficient of x square, that is 1, and c, that is 2. So k root 3 square means k square times 3 minus 4 into 2 is 8. So from here we can say that k square will be equal to 8 over 3. So k will be equal to square root of 8 over 3. So this was a simple question based on the concept of discriminant. Question number 12. Observe the graph of the polynomial px, p of x, number of zeros of p of x. So we know that number of zeros of a given graph is equal to the number of times it crosses x-axis. We have to be very cautious. We have to see only the points of intersection of the graph and the x-axis. So it is crossing x-axis at 3 points. So it will have 3 zeros. Now question number 13, mean and median of a frequency distribution of 43 and 40 respectively, the value of mode is. So we have to find out the value of the mode. So this was just checking whether we know the formula of relationship between mean, median and mode or not. So we know that mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. So we have to find out mode. So 3 times median, median is 40, minus 2 times mean, mean is 43. So from here 120 minus 86, so that will be equal to 34. So option A will be the answer for 34. Question number 14. Area of sector of a circle with radius 18 centimeter is 198 centimeter square. The measure of the central angle is. So this is again based on the concept of area of sector of a circle. So area of sector of a circle is theta by 360 into pi, that is 22 by 7, into r square. So radius is already given 18 square, 18 times 18. And this is equal to 198. And we have to find out the value of theta. So from here we can say theta will be equal to 198 into 7 into 360. The things in the denominator will go in the numerator and divided by 22 times 18 times 18. So 22 into 9 is 198, 9 into 2 is 18, 18 into 2 36, 36 into 10 is 360. So 7 times 10, that is 70 degree will be the central angle. So this question was just checking about the awareness of the formulas. So we just applied the formula for area of sector of a circle, and rearranging the terms we found out the value of theta. Moving to the question number 15. If 2 tan A is equal to 3, then value of sec A. So tan A, from here we can say this is just a simple application of introduction to trigonometry. So from here I can say tan A will be equal to 3 over 2. So we have to find out sec A. So we know 1 plus tan square A will be equal to 1 plus square of 3 by 2, that is 9 by 4. So if I simplify it, I will get 13 by 4. And 1 plus tan square A is sec square A. So sec square A is 13 by 4. So we can say sec A will be root 13 by 2. Root 13 by 2. We have to be very cautious here, because if we see, then an option is root 13 by 4 also, and it's quite similar to what we have got 13 by 4. So we can see, like if we not pay attention, then we can tick B also. So we have to be very conscious because the square root of 4 will be 2. Now moving to the question number 16. The value of k for which the system of linear equations is inconsistent. So we have to find out the value of k for which the system of linear equations is inconsistent, and the equations are x by 2 plus y by 3 is equal to 5 and 2x plus ky is equal to 7. So first of all, to make our work easier, we will make the coefficients of the first equation integers, and to make that we will multiply by the LCM of 2 and 3, that is 6. So if I multiply by 6 to the first equation, I will be getting 3x plus 2y is equal to 30 and 2x plus ky is equal to 7. So system is inconsistent, so we know the condition for the inconsistency, that a1 by a2 is equal to b1 by b2 is not equal to c1 by c2. So by applying that, we can say 3 by 2 will be equal to 2 by k will not be equal to 30 by 7. So from here, if I take the first two equations, so from here we can say 3k will be equal to 4, so k will be equal to 4 by 3. And if I substitute k is equal to 4 by 3, I will see we can see that these two ratios are again not equal. So k is equal to 4 by 3 will be our answer. So this question was also just checking whether we can apply the concept of inconsistency to two given equations or not. Moving to the question number 17. In an AP, A is equal to minus 3, S17 is equal to 357. The value of A17 is. So we already know the two formulas for the sum of an AP, and here S17 is given. We have to find out A17. So A17 will be the last term in the terms of S17. So we can apply S17 will be equal to 17 by 2 first term plus 17th term, that is the last term. So S17 is 357 is equal to, we can transfer the 17 by 2 on the left hand side. So 2 will go in the numerator, 17 will come in the denominator, is equal to A1, that is minus 3 plus A17 we have to find out. So from here we can see this will be 21, and 21 into 2 is 42. So 42 is equal to minus 3 plus A17. So A17 will be 42 plus 3, that is 45. So option C will be your answer for the question number 17. Now in the given figure, a circle is centered at 1, 2. The diameter of the circle is. So this is a simple application of the distance formula, and circle, the concept of circle. So we have to find out the diameter. So from this figure we can see that the radii will be this length, and which is the distance of 1, 2 from the origin. So the distance of 1, 2 from the origin is square root of 2 square plus 1 square, that will be equal to square root of 5. So square root of 5 is the radius of this circle, but the question is asking diameter of the circle. So again we can see, as we discussed in our important points for the board, it is playing with our mind that to find out the diameter, we will first find out this radii, and radius is an option. So, but we have to be cautious that we have to answer the diameter. So diameter will be twice of radius, that is 2 root 5. Now moving to the question number 19 and 20, that they are assertion and region based questions. So you all would be familiar with the options of the assertion and region based questions. So we are not going in discussing those options. We will just directly go to the question number 19. Question number 19 is, assertion is root 3 plus root 5 is an irrational number. So we can directly see, that assertion is true because sum of two irrational numbers may be rational and irrational, but here both are only irrational. So root 3 plus root 5, so their sum will be irrational number. So that is true, means assertion is true. And sum of any two irrational number is always irrational. So this is not always true because we can see 2 minus root 3 plus root 3. So 2 minus root 3 is an irrational number and root 3 is also an irrational number, but their sum is 2, which is a rational number. Assertion A is true, but reason R is false. So option C will be your answer. Assertion A is true, but reason R is false. Moving to the question number 20. If the probability of happening of an event is 0.2p and p is greater than 0, then p cannot be more than 5. So we know the maximum value of any probability is 1 in the case when the event is certain. So if 0.2p is 1, then p can be 5 and it cannot be greater than 5. So assertion A is true, and p of E naught is equal to 1 minus p of E for an event E. So this is also true. While probability of a complementary event is always equal to 1 minus probability of the event. So that is fine, that is also true. But the reason is not explaining why p cannot be greater than 5. So both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation of assertion A. So option B will be your answer. So we finished discussing the maths paper of CBSE Board 2026. It was an average paper with two MCQs of good quality, and rest were just checking our understanding and the applications of the formula and calculations. So I hope you would have done well, and best of luck for your rest of the exams.